Right, every time I hit record and I see that countdown, I always think to myself, I should probably come up with some sort of cool intro. Like,
Don't you have an intro?
welcome to, no, it's like, cool, I've got this podcast where I talk to really good coaches about coaching. That's pretty much it. So when I decided that I was going to record the second season of this, your name was one of the first ones that I wrote down. Basically because, without fangirling too much, when I first got into the industry, when I was working for the company that I used to work for, I used to look up to you even then as like the guy that knows about like programming and the guy that can help us with the biomechanics stuff. And obviously we reached out to you a few times for help and stuff like that. So I still think it's mad now that I'm getting you in for masterclasses, we're doing podcasts together and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So Ali, well, I was about to say welcome to the show and I nearly cringed. Welcome to the show. So always start in the same place because I think it's important to kind of get to where you are now as a coach. Talk to me about your entry into fitness as not even as a coach, but just as a person.
Okay, so I think my whole world, when I entered this world, all got introduced to me when I was about 17, 16, and I was going to the gym a ridiculous amount. I just loved it, but I didn't have any knowledge what I was doing, and I was just doing a load of fitness stuff. So I was going to the gym, and then I was running like 6 miles 4 or 5 times a week, and just wanted to stay fit, but becoming really, really unhealthy with it. And then my granddad got me a PT.
Do you reckon you could run 6 miles?
No, mate, it's like the guy I do videography work with, he put in the group chat about if anybody wants to do walks like up a mountain, I just fucking put a laughing emoji. I wouldn't be able to walk a mountain. I struggle to walk Kobe. But yeah, I got really addicted to training. It's probably the best way to write it. And then I got a coach, and later on, this coach actually became my manager. So I was very, very fortunate in regards to how I got put into this like industry where I work for a company, and the company was so big on education. So when I first started coaching, which was after I finished university, so about 21ish, I think now, like we got put right into education. We learned off the likes of like Gary Gray, Paul Check, who's a little bit hippie-ish now, but he was way before his time. Like it was like the stuff that we're talking about now is like he was speaking about this 10 years ago. And like that's where my whole sort of entry come into this place where I got into fitness, but then also got really, really obsessed with it. And I'm still obsessed with it to some degree now, but it's manageable now and I understand things a lot more in depth. But yeah, I was very fortunate how I got brought up into this where I worked for a company. They taught me a lot. They taught me a lot about anatomy. I understood, I'd learned things that I didn't understand at that moment in time, being honest, like gait cycle and things like that. I didn't have a fucking clue what that was. I got put into courses, and yeah, that's where I'm quite fortunate and how I got brought up into this.
What did you do at uni?
I'd done design engineering.
So nothing to do with fitness whatsoever?
No, basically I fucked around for the first 2 years and I done okay.
Same.
Yeah, and then I realised I was paying for it. So like the third year, I just didn't have a life. I just worked my arse off and I scraped the 2-1 by the end of it.
I'm guessing that you've not even used it, not even looked back.
No, but when it comes to the end of third year, like I said, like I was always into fitness, and fitness was always a passion of mine. And then the guy who was getting PT by a year prior to that just said, look, we've got a job opening, if there's something you're interested in. And I just asked my mum and dad, what would you think? And they thought, you just wasted fucking 3 years of your life and a lot of money, but they knew I was passionate about it. So then I went Harston for a PT qualification.
Yeah.
And then we are here. Here we are now.
I think university is one of those things. I did a very similar thing. I had no intention of going to uni, and then a couple of my mates went to uni. I stayed at home. I stayed in Rotherham, working in a bar and stuff like that. And I went to see them on their Freshers Week. And I came back from Manchester. It was in Manchester. I came back from Manchester. I'd done like 2 nights of Freshers. And I went to my mum and dad, Mum, I'm going to uni. like I don't care what I study. I do not give a fuck. I'm going to uni.
Because you can't beat the life, do you know what I mean? Like when I was still into fitness, but mate, I love going out. Do you know what I mean? And just having a good time. But I do think not many people need to go to university. Like if I could take things back, I probably would take university back in regards to like potentially get some more life experience. Maybe like get an apprenticeship or something like that. I do think that's potentially a lot more beneficial than doing a degree that means jack shit anyway sometimes now.
Yeah. I reckon I know more people that didn't use their degree, that don't use their degree in what they do now than actually do. Yeah. And the ones that do it seems to be the ones that were set on what they were going to do when they went to uni. Do you know, like you have those mates at school. You have those mates at school. It's like, what do you want to be when you're older? Solicitor. What do you want to be when you're older? I want to work in medicine. They're the ones now. But I wouldn't take it back. It was good. I got life experience is one way to put it.
I bet.
Fuck about and find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you I'm guessing you then started as a in person on the
Yeah,
floor PT.
yeah.
What sort of gym were you at?
So it was a gym in Liverpool on Brunswick Docks, and it was more of a personal training studio. The company was called at the time Elite Fitness Consultants, and we had fucking some unbelievable coaches who are all still around the northwest. Now we had Lee Plant, I think his second name is Plant. He owns a gym in the Wirral, or he did own a gym in the Wirral. I'm going to speak a lot of, I hope so, Tom Routley, who's working over in Dubai. We had a guy called Craig, can't think of his second name, but he's still there, I think. The gym's still going now, but it's called Unit 7. So my old manager now owns it with somebody else. And again, it was all just that kind of thing. So you got to, and we had all walks of life because where we were situated on Brunswick Docks. We had quite a lot of businesses, and it was very very good because parking, which, as you know, for a gym is very very valuable.
Yeah.
So I worked with some CEOs who are obviously very very wealthy people, and then you worked with some people who weren't as wealthy and had normal quote unquote jobs. So you got like a wide range and mixture of people. And the guy who owned it was very, very intelligent. I will give him that. He was very, very intelligent, and he was working with some athletes as well. So we had some like GB athletes. So I got exposed to fucking shitloads when I was young, which is why I think coaching on the gym floor is really important.
Yeah, I do think this topic's interesting because I never did. I never
Yeah.
did any gym floor. I never had any gym floor. That's a lie. I had one client, Charlotte, who basically she would be in the gym at the same time as me and would just go through sessions and stuff like that. But it was just kind of like her boyfriend was in the gym at the time getting PT from somebody else, and it was just like it's just is what it is. But never did any actual experience of that. Obviously I'm biased on this side of the argument. I'm like, for the people that I worked with and the stuff that I worked on them with, I don't think it was essential. Would I have benefited a little bit more from being able to correct exercise form and stuff like that and pick up a load of cues? Well, maybe, but a lot of my clients didn't actually go to the gym. Bear in mind, I was working with people that were 130, 140 kilos. So I'm like, I do think if you are somebody that is going to make training a massive part of their service, for sure, I think I can see the benefits of it. But for me, I'm like, I do think there are some people out there that don't necessarily need it. Would it have benefited me? Probably.
So my argument to this is it helps you deal with people. So it's like you need to be able to deal with people because again, you're only just going straight into the online world. And this is what I'm going to say, like for all the young people who listen to this, it's like talking through WhatsApp and Zoom and Loom is fucking completely different than a one-to-one conversation with someone's face.
Yeah.
Because messages can get misstrued of how they're written, and you might not mean it in the tone of voice that they're taking it in. But when you're speaking to someone face to face and they start crying in front of you, and you're a young person, it's like, shit, what do we do here? You learn very, very quickly when you get put in some situations. I do agree in regards to like the training execution side of things. It's a lot better. It's very beneficial to see how loads of different people move.
Yeah.
But for me, the most important thing is actually working with individuals face to face and the conversations you're having, actually how to be like a bit of a chameleon and how you'd speak to someone who's very, very well up in a job, if that makes sense, and they have to be spoken to in a certain tone, then how you can speak to people who are a little bit more your own age. So I think that teaches you that a lot quicker. And again, because you can't treat all your clients the same who come through the door. You might have a quote unquote niche, but everyone's still got different personalities. And I think that's probably why I think it's very, very valuable. And this is where I will go agree with you to some degree. It's like, I don't think you necessarily need to be working on the gym floor to build up that skill set, but you need to be working with people. So, for example, like physios, we'll take physios, anyone in the medical world, they're used to dealing with people face to face. So again, that can be then transitioned into a coaching element, but something that you won't get until you do work on the gym floor is that training experience.
Yeah.
Like we can all give nutrition plans, we don't necessarily need to see our clients eat the food, but I do think in the gym floor that's where the benefit is. But most importantly, is people.
No, I do agree with that. As you were saying that, then I was thinking. So I got into this industry late. I was 30. Like I was real late, and it was by accident. But I'd spent 11, nearly 12 years working in hospitality.
Yeah, exactly.
So dealing with people, dealing with drunk people, so that side of that human connection, like the human behavior side of things. I think if you've had some sort of customer service facing job, it'll definitely set you up.
Yeah.
One thing that I definitely couldn't do though, which I remember this, and I don't know if you will remember it or won't. We did like a mini seminar at like a university building in Manchester, and I spoke there, and you were one of the speakers.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember something that really drilled it home with me. And again, would I have benefited from this skill set? Potentially. You asked if anybody in the room had got any pain or any injuries or anything like that. And I remember this clear as day because I was sat at the back of the room and Vicky put a hand up. Remember, Vicky put a hand up and she stood up and you were able to like look at her and go, right, yeah, X, Y, Z, this, that, and correct it there. And then I was like, fuck me, this guy's Rain Man. So I guess if you are working online and you've never done, I think there are a lot more people now going straight online and not doing any in person. That's still something that you could do through a screen.
100%. I think like the thing when it comes to that is, what I want to come back is in-person seminars, because that stuff that you just spoke about, I learned off some people, but in person. And when you're seeing someone do it on someone, you can pick it up and then they can get to do it on you. So you've got a better learning protocol. When you're learning stuff online, so me and Nathan have just bought a course from someone who we look up to, and it's cool learning about it. But we can't just travel to Canada where the guy's from. But it'd be so much cooler to learn in person, and I do think you'll take more in. So, like, I'm being honest, most of the stuff I've learned, I've done a lot of online courses, obviously, but at the same time, the most valuable stuff has been in person.
Yeah,
it's like learning off the likes like Chris Knott, learning off the likes like James Sutton from M10 and Michael Golden, where I've done in-person seminars with them, and I was quite fortunate when Jordan Shallow come over here, learned off him a little bit as well. Like, you can't beat it. And then it's like, the way I describe it is like you learn off all these different people who are all talking roughly about the same thing, but how they teach is a little bit differently. So then when you're talking to someone else, you might take how one of the coaches talked about it or another person talked about it, and then you get to portray like that to the person.
I did a lot of the stuff that I did when I was still coaching. I just love. I think he's hilarious. Is Luke Lehman from Muscle Nerd.
Amazing, mate. Yeah.
So I did I did their online courses and stuff. But again, when they would ever, obviously, you get put in their Facebook group of all their clients, and they'd advertise their in-person seminars in Australia. I'm
So me and Nathan said we want to do like an in-person thing, but we're going to travel for it. Like, I want to do Cassim's M1 in person. I've done this online, but I just want to do it in person because, again, you're in a room full of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
And that's something me and Nathan are trying to do. So like with our mentorship, we've got like 3 seminars a year. So the first and then the last one are for the students, but then the middle one is open for everybody. Because again, I think everyone does online, and look, online's the way to go. Let's be honest, you can have more reach, you can help more people, etc. But there's nothing being in-person seminar. So I can remember you done your talk, wasn't it? I think it was the first time you've ever done a talk. I'm right in thinking that. And like, I still remember what you're speaking about, because when you're talking about things and you're speaking to that individual, you can see the passion as well that comes through them, because they've got body language. So obviously it's like your transformation, which you spoke about. And again, that's probably why you can resonate with so many people, because again, just you're talking passionately about what you've been through.
Yeah, I do think it's really important. I saw that you'd done the first one. I shoved Rosh your way.
Oh, amazing! She's amazing.
Yeah. She watched the masterclass that you did for us and was like, "What's Ali like?" I was like, "Fucking sick." Like fucking sick. Yeah,
Thank you.
We are going to talk about that. We'll definitely, I imagine, we'll get to that eventually. But I want to go back to you now. So you're in this personal training studio. You've got access to loads of different people, athletes, general population, CEOs, etc. Where did you then? What was the kind of like the steps that you went through to figure out what your passion was and really start to throw yourself down the rabbit hole like you do?
I've always wanted to be massive. That's like, I always wanted, I'm a vain person, I'll happily admit this, and I've had this passion, and still is my passion now, to write the perfect training plan, which I know is never going to exist. But it's like, I want to learn more and more and more about how to make things efficient. Essentially, that's what it is. But then when you start to dissect and go into it more and dissect it, everything works in sync with everything.
Yeah.
But like, I've always been obsessed with training. I've loved training, as I said, from like a young lad. I've always loved playing sports. I find nutrition, gut health, and all that really interesting, because it all intertwines what we're doing. But my thing's training. Like, I like to fuck myself up and fuck people up as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And like Joe, you said before about, it's like, it sounds like corny, but it's like making people feel a muscle when they might not been able to feel it before, or taking them off of pain when they've been in pain. Like, by the way, disclaimer, I'm not a physio, but I can contract muscles. That's what I'm allowed to do. So if I can help someone contract the muscle, and then it takes them off of pain for whatever reason that may be, it's quite cool and it's really, really fulfilling.
So that is how I discovered you in the industry, because we actually reached out to you and was like, right, we've got this set of criteria. We want some really good programs. Can you help us put some templates together and stuff like that? And I remember I got we got the programs back, and I was like, fucking hell, like there's some detail in this. And obviously we were using those programs in a group coaching setting with, again, general population, but they were still fairly applicable to people. Were you, so then when you started, obviously not the in-person stuff, when you started to transition to online, what did that look like? What was the catalyst for you to decide, do you know what, I want to start doing? Right.
COVID, mate. COVID was the major, like, so, like, yeah, I can say it now, I'm not going to go to jail, but like I tried to PT a little bit in COVID, but like it was like, you know, when everyone was actually quite scared. Like it was that time I thought, oh, it's fucking not worth it. Like police were raiding gyms, and it's like, is it really getting caught? Like worth getting caught for all this and getting fined, or whatever the prosecution may be. And then a transition to online. Like I struggled with it at first, and being honest, like I like people, so like being cooped up in an office all day with nobody doesn't serve me quite well for my mental health. But I understand for where I want to go in the future, it's a needed thing. So yeah, it was COVID essentially that pushed me there.
I remember that. But it was a lot of the gyms. To be fair, you might have been at that gym. It was it, what's he called? Is it Nathan?
Yeah, that one got raided.
I remember seeing it all over the news and everything. It was mad.
It's one of these. It's like I understood why I did it, because like I think people, when training's a big part of people's lives, and like when you just take that away, I think it probably done more damage than actually what was worth. And like the health aspect. And by the way, I'm not saying COVID wasn't real, but everyone can have their own opinion on that.
Yeah.
But I think it was very detrimental, because it was what people love to do. And then like because I was living in Widnes at the time, like the park by us, Victoria Park, you couldn't even do pull-ups because the cage or like the park gym off, and you were just like, for fuck's sake, it's all getting a little bit silly now. But I set up a gym in my garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it. Like, to be fair, there was a website called Hardcastle Bodybuilding, I think it's called. Got a squat rack, got a bar, got a safety bar. Because I knew a couple of gym owners as well, they lent me plates. So I was very fortunate. I could still train. And I miss it sometimes. Sometimes I miss it.
Just getting out in the back garden, caveman style. Mate, I do remember, hopefully that was before the monopoly went out on the on gym equipment. There was one point where obviously we got quite a few clients at this time, and everyone was like, what the fuck do we do? And we're trying to like source like TRX cables and resistance bands, and you couldn't fucking get them.
No, mate, it was fucking ridiculous. It was like, and the price of it was, as you said, it was just like ridiculously expensive. Look, like they knew how to market it, didn't they? And like, you couldn't even buy a kettlebell from Tesco.
Yeah.
All these kind of things, because it all just went.
Yeah.
But that was a transition for me. And then I was very, very fortunate in regards to, like, I went on to a business mentorship, and me and the owner of that company, we just hit it off. Like, we got on really, really well. And then the second intake, he asked me to teach on it, just about training, and I had like a 15-minute cameo, and I've never been so fucking nervous in my life. Because I'll be totally honest, I've always wanted to teach. I think when I started PT, and my mentor, Kane, when I first started in this, taught a lot. It was always an ambition. I said, okay, well, by the age of like 32, 33, I want to be teaching. And I started teaching when I was like 26. Sorry, mate, he wants to get up.
That's all right, mate. This is the real reason why Ali's here, by the way. Ali's got a blue stocky puppy called Kobe, who's incredible. There we go. There's the star of the show.
So yeah, I first taught them when I must have been about 26, 27.
Yeah.
Around that. And I was so nervous, mate. So nervous. And then we done like at the end of the mentorship, there was like a meetup, and I taught them the meetup. So that was my first in-person teaching experience down in London. And I was quite fortunate because like I knew about 4 or 5 of the people on it. So it wasn't as nerve-wracking because I knew them. Yeah. I think like Chloe Pickford was there, Lauren Cafferty was there. I can't think of a few others, but John Locke was there as well, who ended up being one of my clients from it. And then it just snowballed from that. So like that's why like I'm very, very fortunate for that opportunity, because I probably wouldn't be where I am now in regards to like the privilege role I've got in regards to like teaching, trying to help coaches if it wasn't for that.
So let's rewind. I'm trying to put this in the right order. So was that no? It's good because I want to talk about all of these things. Was the teaching before COVID, before you'd been forced to go online?
I'm trying to think. So I think I started. No, when people like start to transition online, but they're still doing 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was doing. So it was still mainly 1-to-1, but I had maybe 3 or 4 online clients. But then I wanted to really take it up a level. Yeah. And then that's when I signed up with the OTA. And then that's when I was on the very, very first OTA when it wasn't even called that. Yeah. And then that's where it's all snowballed. So like I owe Adam a lot.
Yeah. So let's talk about your transition to online then.
Yeah.
How did you find it as somebody that loves being in the gym, that loves training, that because again, there's a lot of coaches that they like training, but they don't love training like you love training. So to remove that in-person element where you're actually with people, the bit that you I would guess are the most passionate about.
Yeah.
What did you find that like?
It was difficult, and then I found out, when I was trying to write training programs, I was making them too complicated for people to understand because you're not in there to describe it.
Yeah.
So I had to really, really learn more to explain things more simple, and then also understand that people don't need the really complicated stuff all the time. That's probably the biggest transition, because obviously when I was in the gym, I could set everything up and then get clients to do it, whereas I can't.
You're one of the old OG daisy chain banner.
Oh, mate, yeah. I was telling my clients to buy X, Y, and Z, and then as most things, when you get a further into, you realise the fucking simple shit just works. Like, keep it simple, stupid. And like, I still think it's massively beneficial, but the practicality of it, I just didn't compute, if I'm being honest. Like, when I was the first transition, it was like, okay, like, let's reverse band the hack, let's add one band, then let's add two bands. The clients are like, I haven't fucking got one or two bands. But it was definitely hard, because it's really, really hard to analyse training video footage when the camera's like popped up on a bottle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Dodgy angle,
yeah. But it's definitely easier now, because one, I've just got more skill of it, more time doing it, and everyone seems to have a tripod now.
Yeah.
And because the type of clients that I coach now, it's more just the final tweaks of things. Like, I'm trying to find things wrong with what they're doing. It's not necessarily like the wrong things are just obvious. But yeah, it was hard from just the social aspect more than anything. It was hard from just like not seeing people train hard, etc. Do you want to come say hi?
Oh, can do.
Hi, Charlotte.
She can't.
Can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, you can. She's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
That was the hardest part.
With obviously, so you've removed the training side of it. You were doing nutrition and stuff at this point, and anyway. How did you find because obviously the thing that I'm really passionate about is the behavior change side of things. It's the actual coaching conversations. What was your almost like first attempt at translating that from in person to now working with online people? Were you doing the voice notes back and forth, or?
No, so I was quite lucky. I was getting coached by, I think Cal was coaching me at the time as well, and Cal's always sent me video feedback. So I was already getting online coach, so I got a bit of a understanding of how to do it, because I had someone who was coaching me throughout it, and he used Screencast, I think it's called something else now.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I talked about this inside the Amfight. So for people that don't know what this is like 2020 I was using this. So Screencast-O-Matic was a shit version of Loom, right?
Yes.
And basically the way that it worked is, rather than just recording straight to the cloud, it recorded the video to your computer, and then you had to do something with it. So I remember I had an old clunky laptop. I was like playing at being an online coach, recording these check-in videos, having to upload it to like YouTube or something like that with a private link.
Yeah, send
the private link to the client, then delete the file off of my laptop because it was taking up so much space. It was like fucking mad.
But what I found that you could do, you could have just sent them a link.
What?
So I found this out. So I don't know if it's because I upgraded, because it's called something else now, but it still exists.
Right.
And Nathan was using it, and he just sent me a link.
Mind blowing.
And I'm quite gutted if that's what we could have done. Because mate, it was like, I can remember. So like, I used to do this because I used to thought this was quite showy offy. Like, I'll do say like 15 or 20 check-ins in a day, and it used to do the list and not uploading, didn't it? And I'd take a photo and go, all my check-ins done for today. Try and like show a popular one. Yeah. So I always, that was how I've always give feedback.
Yeah.
And I've always give feedback via video, and that's mainly because I'm a very like, besides when I'm in prep, I'm dead. Like, I'm very like handsy and very, very like body language is quite a lot with me when I talk. So I think it's a good way in which people can see, but also I think it's a good way for people to get your personality to some degree as well. I've worked with coaches who do WhatsApp feedback and it's worked, but I think it only works with people who are like myself, who's a bit of a robot. I don't think you get that much emotion from it. And then I've done as many Zooms as I could with people, because I don't think you have to pay for Zoom at the time either. I've done many Zooms as I could with people and tried to keep the human element there. But it was definitely a big transition. I've voiced notes to people as well, but might need them too.
Because this is obviously a massive part of my, I guess, mission at the minute is video feedback's great, voice notes are great. However you want to deliver, whatever the best way for you to deliver your feedback is great, but I still don't think that's not coaching. Like, so the way that I understand coaching is coaching, the verb is about asking questions. It's never about telling people what to do. It's the thing that I think that people get confused between coach, noun, as in I am a coach, and to coach, the verb. right?
Yeah. Go on,
So,
I like this. Yeah, go on.
so coach noun, Olympic 100-meter record holder, has a coach. Does he do much coaching? I don't think he does. Does he ask? So coaching, by definition, is asking questions to empower people to think and act for themselves.
Yes.
So if you're working with the top of the top, do they need asking questions or do they need the fine tuning? Do they need the little tweaks? Go on.
I'll put it like this. So you're gonna have two different types of clients that come to you. Okay, you're gonna have, you said, like the top of the top kind of thing, who still need educating. So coaches for me we're educated in they, but
I agree.
we meet the clients of where they're at. And this like this one of the best things I've been told is like meet people where they're at. So for example, we speak about meal plans before with me. It's like a meal plan is needed for someone who doesn't know how to eat. If they think 200 grams of chicken is 200 grams of protein, they need to start understanding the fact of that. But there should be a scale of sort of graduation where you're doing less and less and less as they should be learning more and more and more.
They're getting more autonomy. Yeah, I agree.
But the questions they ask become more and more specific.
Yeah.
So they should always be asking something to some shape or form, because they should always be trying to figure out what don't I know. And this is the thing with coaching. I think coaches don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll use this example. I can improve people's range of movement without stretching them, but I don't know what's that doing neurologically and how the brain connects that to the muscle. That's something I'm trying to learn. It's like, why does it suddenly just work? I understand why it works, but it's like I don't know the finer details of it. So, but loads of coaches don't know what they don't know because they've not been exposed to anything. Same with Gen Pop clients; they've never been exposed to all of these things. Like, we take a lot for granted that clients know how to fit macros into how to fit the food into macros. It's like, that's very, very naive of us. Because if you ask me to do my tax, I'll be fucked and I'll probably be in jail.
Yeah.
I haven't got a fucking clue. So that's why I pay someone. And if I want to learn off them, I'll go, Catherine, do us a favour, can you just explain to me this, and this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But coaches, they just assume the clients know X, Y, and Z. And it could just be too overwhelming. I think sometimes coaches try and do too much. And this is what I was saying before about when I program people, I was fucking just overwhelmed. They're probably trying to prove how smart I am and trying to probably prove how much of a service I can provide. But I was just giving them too much that moment of time. They weren't ready for it. And people like graduate and then they go, okay, cool. So now they want to know about micronutrients and not just macros. They want to, and then it's like, okay, I want to get learn about fibre a little bit as well. How much water do we need to have? I feel a little bit dehydrated throughout. And it's like they keep asking more intrinsic questions as they go on throughout it.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to stick on this because I think this is actually going to be a really interesting topic because I think we've got different stances on it. So when I say asking questions, as in you, the coach, you're coaching when you're asking questions, not when they're asking. So the different hats that you wear as a coach, right? You have the instructor, the coach, the mentor, and they're all by definition very different. So the instructor is exactly what it sounds like. You're giving people information. You're telling people what to do. Loom feedback, for the most part, is still not coaching by definition. It's still instructing.
It depends what you ask them, though, doesn't it, on the feedback?
It does, but on a Loom feedback, can they have a conversation with you? So, like,
I agree. Yeah.
If you look at coaching by definition, right, it's a collaborative process, a conversation where you're asking people the right things. So this is where my idea of, like, I'm glad you said Zoom calls, because I'm like, to really oversimplify it, if you are giving feedback on Loom, you're probably not coaching. You might ask questions, but you're trusting that they're going to pick the questions out, answer the questions, and respond back to you. And a lot, like you said, a lot gets misconstrued, a lot gets lost in translation. And back to that kind of like coach noun, coach verb thing, right? I played elite level sport in Australia. You couldn't have played a high level American football in Australia. I had elite American football coaches that didn't do any coaching by definition. They didn't.
I like this because do you know what the definition of humble is?
What?
The definition of humble, let me actually get it up before I actually fucking butcher this.
Here we go, right.
It's not, because I love this topic because it was Cal, the lad who used to live with, not Cal Fraser, Cal Precision Coach, who actually forgot his second name then. Definition of humble. Because people think being humble is a good thing. But when you actually hear the definition of it, so having or showing a modest low self-esteem or one's importance. So that's the definition of it. So again, like you're saying, like the definition of coaching is something that we don't actually understand what coaching actually is.
Yeah.
So but I agree with you because for example, a client's not sticking to nutrition and they're not losing weight. So as a coach, you go, okay, I need to drop the food more. But you've not once asked the client why are they struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is where coaching does. I agree. I'm actually coming I think we're coming like back into time here because you just slashing the food, if they're already struggling to stick to something, isn't going to get them a faster result because they're already originally struggling to stick to it. Yeah. It's like, okay, client, I want to do 12,000 steps, but they work in an office for 12 hours. Now, I do think there's ways around this. Like, it's very, very easy to lose fat now compared to what it was 10, 15 years ago because we've got walking pads, rice cookers, so much more efficient. But still.
You love a rice cooker. You absolutely love a rice cooker.
I love efficiently. I love rice cookers. I love air fryers. I love anything where I don't have to stand over a hob. But again, like if you've got to take the client's lifestyle, because if a client's 12 hours in an office, they sleep for 8 hours. It doesn't leave them that many time a day to get 12,000 steps in.
Yeah.
So okay, so but why can't you
training?
Yeah, of
food,
course, exactly. So it's like, but you've got to ask, okay, so what can we do instead? And go, what's available for you?
Yeah.
Because this is something that I think a lot of coaches think they write people the perfect program. So there's an amazing graph that like this is optimal and this is like least optimal. Yeah. And effective is somewhere in between that for that one individual. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make things effective. Like everyone uses this word optimal, but optimal doesn't ever exist because optimal changes on a day-to-day basis depending on loads of physiological factors. So you've got to find out, and then I like to look at this. So, for example, say I'm coaching you, and we go, okay, Lewis, we can train 3 times a week, yes. And you go, yep, we've agreed 3 times a week. We've agreed that we can do 8,000 steps, and on the days that you don't train, you can do 10,000 steps, and that equates to what over for a week. We've agreed that we're going to do 4 days of nutrition where we're going to be a little bit low carbohydrates, and then 3 days we're going to do a little bit high. And we've had a mutual communication about this. We've both signed a mutual contract. So then I am now responsible for 50% of that 100% relationship for making you stick to it, and then you're also responsible because the client is responsible.
Yeah, I agree.
And nobody ever puts the emphasis on the client because we can only do so much. It's like the whole saying, you can lead the horse to water, you can't make them drink it. But if you're giving something that's impossible for that client to follow where they are in life right now, they're never going to be able to uphold their part of the contract. So you might be upholding your part and go, well, I'm doing everything I can. But you've never actually asked the client why are they not being able to stick to it.
Exactly. I completely agree. And I think a lot of coaches are afraid of having tough conversations because they're afraid of pissing the client off. They're afraid of asking the difficult questions because they don't want to hurt the client's feelings or whatever. So that saying as well, I'm starting to change my mind on you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. It was like, yeah, but we're not dealing with horses. We're dealing with humans. They understand language. You can talk. I used to say that all the time, by the way.
No, it's true. I think, one of my favorite things about so when coaches are afraid to ask clients difficult questions, Adam used a statement since always, never become a renter friend.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a friend. Like, you build a relationship over it. So I've got some clients who've had for a long time and we're very close. Like, I know a lot about them. They know a lot about me. We build up a working relationship. But my aim is still to get them to the results of what they pay me for.
You have to maintain that authority in some way, shape or form. Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah.
And you can, and sometimes, like I've learned this by mistake, sometimes lines get blurred and you become too friendly and then your authority status drops. And then that's when the coaching relationship needs to end. It doesn't mean your friendship needs to end.
Yeah.
It's just you haven't got that authority, and that's something that can always happen. And like when you've had someone for a long period of time and you're a nice person, you like to get to know people, there's always a chance that. But I think it's our job role to go, look, I think we've probably crossed the boundary here. I think you need to go and potentially work with someone else. This is not because I don't like you. It's because I don't think we've got that relationship anymore.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And like again, this is why my mission at the minute to bring back this idea of what coaching truly is. That I think it's very much needed because most coaches have got a working level of knowledge when it comes to nutrition and training. Maybe not as much as they should have done, but like a base level that can get the job done. It's every single coach has had a client that's come to him and said, "I know what to do. I'm just not doing it."
Yeah.
For me, what I say to the coaching side of the amplifier, if you have a conversation that's anything like that with your clients, that's where you need to stop giving them information and you need to start asking them questions. Because if they know what to do, you giving them a different way to think about the protein or a different meal setup isn't really going to help. You need to figure out, like you've said, you need to figure out why they're not doing it in the first place and what's the cost of that? What's the impact of that? How can we create leverage? How can we get them to think about it differently? Because there's a set of, this is why I'm so passionate about coaching, because coaching never had anything to do with nutrition and training. Coaching comes from the professional world. Coaching is a personnel development skill. It's a leadership and management skill. It's fuck all to do with calories or insert any other type. Mate, you can get relationship coaching these days. Coaching's nothing to do with relationships. Coaching's nothing to do with business. It's to do with empowering people to think and act for themselves. And the ICF, which are like the big boys in coaching, which is the international. What is it? International. Oh, that's going to do my head in.
Google it.
Federation. I don't fucking International Coaching Federation. I think something like that. They did a set of research on giving people basically autonomous motivation versus non-autonomous motivation, as in asking people what they should do and telling people what they should do. Across the board, people are 3 times more likely to adhere to something that they came up with for themselves than something that you told them to do. So if people aren't sticking to your plans, in your next week feedback on your Loom videos, which are I'm not knocking Loom, I think there's definitely needed, but you telling them to do it a little bit firmer, or you telling them to do it and maybe being a little bit more like, come on, you said you were going to do this and I need you to stick to it before we can make any adjustments. You're not helping them.
No, I agree. I think that it's funny, isn't it? Because when we're talking about these kind of things, it makes it sound so obvious.
Yeah.
But again, this is where, as you said, coaches now are very, very afraid to have them conversations, which might be a little bit uncomfortable because they're afraid of losing the client. And if they lose the client, that's X amount of payments out a month. Yeah. By the way, and this is the real world, and it's when you're self-employed, this is always a chance, by the way. And this is why coaching in our industry is very, very difficult. Well, in any industry, because it is so volatile. And look, we always know November, December might be slower months and they're hard to get through because the retention rate isn't as high, blah, blah, whatever it may be because of Christmas. And then you think February, March is all going to pick up a little bit. These are common trends, but when you're in them moments, it is still difficult because you do self-doubt yourself. But I like this phrase in regards I'm not a big fan of affirmations, not a big fan, but if you've got a list of proof of you are who you are,
yeah,
that's the facts there. So if people are leaving you, are they leaving you because you're a bad coach? Well, write a list of proofs of why you're not a bad coach. And then that's the facts there. How many times have people said you've changed my life, blah, blah, blah. Just because you think people are leaving you because X, Y, and Z, but they might have financial problems. It's hard out now. I think the coaches don't sometimes live in the real world, especially coaches who live in Dubai. And they're doing very, very well for themselves. The UK is pretty shit sometimes. When people say there's cost of living crisis, I do question that because everyone seems to be getting pissed and he's out on a Saturday night. So it's I don't think there's that much of a cost of living crisis.
It was not the. I think there's an iPhone launch maybe happening at the minute, not this one, but the last one. It was the stats about the iPhone launch, about how many iPhones have been paid for in full on the day of launch. That I was like, I agree that some people are really struggling these days.
Yeah.
But I also think for the most part, people are eating out more than ever. They're buying iPhones and paying in full more than ever. They're going on more holidays. So
I think there's a priority crisis. I don't think there's necessarily a financial crisis in regard to. By the way, this is me not speaking for everyone in the UK. As you said, there are people who are really struggling and struggling to pay month to month. And let's take a stereotype of a single mum who's got 2 kids. Mortgages are through the roof right now, rents through the roof. And they're living month to month. That is really, really harsh. But they're not potentially the people who need coaching right now. Now, they need just some kind of help. Whereas the people who do need coaching, who want coaching, they probably can afford it, but they are prioritizing the wrong things.
Yeah.
The prioritizing, they're prioritizing holidays, they're prioritizing going out, getting pissed with their mates or with family, not for family, the partner, whatever. The prioritizing the wrong things if they're looking at health. And I think coaches sometimes don't look at health enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing if it fits your macros. I've got nothing against if it fits your macros, okay? But if you've not taught your clients how to utilize if it fits your macros, which isn't swapping a dairy milk bar for a crunchy, it is, I don't feel like some chicken today. I'm going to have some minced beef. So because the minced beef's got a little bit more fat in it. And
still then eating good food.
Whole foods.
Yeah.
Because the body works off whole foods. That's not me saying you can't have the Five Guys, etc. Because I had this conversation with the owner of the gym in regards to, he went there was someone won't eat Five Guys because it's full of shit. I was like, yeah, but you put oil in yourself that you don't know where it's from. So it's your argument doesn't really stand up. You know what I mean? It's you're worried about a Five Guys, but you're putting an oil that's made in the bathtub. It's you can't really stand that much of a ground. But I think the majority of the food that we do eat should come from whole food sources. And then I think from a social aspect of things, you should go out and enjoy food when you're in that period of life where you can do that. But if you want to get really lean or you want to lose body fat, you do have to make sacrifice.
Yeah, I agree. So you're in an interesting position like me that you now work with. You do only work with coaches now?
No. I reckon say 70-75% of myself I work with coaches, and then I still have 25% of Gen Pop because I love working with Gen Pop.
Yeah. So 75% of your coaching clients, and now you've obviously got the mentorship with making and stuff like that. So you do get to have these conversations with a lot of coaches, and something that we were talking about before we started recording. Which I completely agree with is, and we've kind of been touching on it and scratching at the surface about if coaches lose a couple of clients and the financial and stuff like that. Coaches are under a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. Coaches are under a lot of pressure. How much of that pressure do you think is, I don't want to say like real pressure because that's a wanky way to put it. But
a lot of it's first world problems.
Yeah, and how much of that do you think is almost like self-imposed pressure is maybe the right way to put it?
So we all talk about like don't compare yourself, but it's hard when you go on social media and you can't look at how well other people seem to be doing. Because look, Instagram is you put what you want people to see, don't you? You don't put your fucking shit times on there. Well, you fucking shouldn't anyway, because you shouldn't be getting your phone out when you're going through shit time and crying or whatever it should be.
Don't get me straight. We move on. Like,
yeah. Like that's just like, I don't know how people fucking think like that. But anyway, it's like when you're seeing X amount of pound a month that a coach is earning, and you may be earning a third of that, there's always going to be a question of why. Like, and I understand that. But then when you actually step out to the coaching world, and this is what I don't think a lot of coaches do, they don't step out to this coaching world and actually put themselves in the real world of like earning £10,000 a month, £5,000 a month is a fucking lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. And if you're not living a decent life earning £5,000 a month as a coach, your expenses are too fucking high. Like, you do not need to be paying somebody else £2,000 a month to make you earn £5,000 a month. Like, that doesn't make sense. Not many businesses will be doing that unless you're willing to make that sacrifice to try and earn £10,000 a month. But I think coaching has come away from actually helping clients, and it's all about numbers. Like, this is the trend I'm seeing. And like, also coaches are trying to be funny, right? And when they're trying to become people that they're not on social media. Okay, I'm not funny. I like to have a laugh with people.
I think you're pretty funny, but I'm wondering if it's because we're both on the spectrum.
But when I say like, I'm not someone to fucking like do a fucking hip thrust and make smiling faces to try and create a comical reel. Like that's not who I am. So if I'd done that on social media and then I started coaching you, you'd be like, well, that's not who I fucking signed up for.
Yeah.
Because like your true transparency will show up within your coaching. I think there's so much pressure on social media now to put these type of reels out, etc. It's become, as I said, it's transitioned away from what coaching is, which is to help people who need help get to where they want to be because they are stuck, and we have the tools to be able to get them there. And the definition of success is obviously individualized, but I do think it needs to trend away from finances all the time. And actually, how many people have you helped? That should be successful, because that's what our job is to help people. And then there's going to be, I think if you focus like that, there's always going to be a financial beneficiary of it. Because like, look, when I'm saying all this, I'm not naive. We all need to fucking earn money. Like, and I want to earn money because like I've got my own personal goals of what I want to achieve. So for example, like I've got my nephew now, and I want to give him like the best childhood he's ever had. So like I want to be able to just go to fucking Disneyland Paris and not worry about paying for it, and just be able to go, look, Lorna, I'm taking Ari away on the weekend. She can have a weekend break with her husband. Then I can go and take him. Like, I want that financial freedom to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And again, it's all down to person individual. Like, if you're someone who wants to drive Ferrari, you know you've got to work X amount of hard to drive Ferrari, which is cool. But I don't think everybody wants to drive Ferrari is what I'm trying to say. I think they all think they want to.
I completely agree, and I think the thing that is one of the contributing factors that's led us here is nobody's saying that you shouldn't. I think coaches, if you are a good coach and you are empowering people to change their own lives. I hate this. I've changed so many people's lives. No, you fucking didn't. You gave them the tools to change their own life. It's not about you. Chill out. But if you are a good coach and you are empowering people to change their own lives for the better, you should be rewarded very handsomely for it. You should. I think a lot of the pressure these days is, like you said, with social media. None of us would be in the position that it's interesting, isn't it? None of us would be in this position without social media.
Agreed.
But it's also got a lot to answer for. And again, you're getting 10K months, 12K months. This person's earned 15K this month, rammed down your throat. Of course, you're going to compare yourself. I think one of the contributing factors is people think they should be earning that like now. Yes, I think it was Dan from what they called these days, like Business and Banter, shared something on his story maybe a week or two ago about somebody he knows that, I don't know, they work in like a bank or something, and they've worked their way up, and they were having a conversation, and this person, I believe it was a lady, had told Dan, this is what I earned in year 1, year 2, year 3. I changed banks at year 5 and got a 20% increase and da-da-da-da. And it had basically taken, I don't know, let's say 10, 12 years to be earning over 6 figures a year, working in finance, banking, stuff like that. And I think the thing now is, obviously, a lot of coaches are seeing that you can earn good money and you should earn good money if you've put the time in and you've got the results and the evidence and stuff like that. But going, right, well, I want that now. And that's leading people to make decisions that ordinarily they wouldn't make, or they wouldn't make if they were keeping the reason that they got into this in the first place in mind, which is to help people. And I said this, I actually did a talk for Mike and Dan back in November. And one of the points that I said is like, we should all earn good money for what we're doing. But the thing that gets lost in translation these days is people talk about 10K a month. I'm like, no, that's 50 human beings.
Yeah.
Like, we're dealing with human beings that have real lives. And I think one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it is because I've been one of those human beings at 150 kilos that needed the help. And it's like, I earn this amount a month. It's like, no. You've got the opportunity to work with 40, 50 people. Like, don't forget that.
I think the hard thing about it all as well, though, is it is easy to earn money quick.
Yeah.
If you can market things. So, like, coaches now are not good coaches, in my opinion. Like, they're good marketers.
Good market, yeah.
And like, look, at the end of the day, like you said before, social media is free marketing. But something I will say is, like, it's all, the responsibility is still on us and how we use it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we can all moan about Instagram, but I probably wouldn't know you if it wasn't for social media.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it does have its positives. It really, really does. But we all blame it for so many things, but we can just turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, we do have the power to be able to do that, but we're very, very, as I said before, we're not very good at taking our own responsibility, taking responsibility for our actions.
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing, is it is easy to earn money quick if you're good at marketing, but then you don't learn the skill set, as you said before, about that lady doing 10, 12 years in the industry, who's now built the foundations of her job, essentially. If you get 30 clients in, let's say 3 months, you've got no idea how to deal with fucking 30 clients.
What the fuck are you going to... Yeah.
You're going to fucking flap at every single message they get because you've not built them foundations. Because everyone's got a style of coaching. Mine and your coaching will be very, very different. We'll still want to get to the same result at the end of it. But how we do that, and like, this way coaches need to understand as well, it's like, it's nothing personal. Like, someone may come to me or may come to you and they prefer you over me. Sound? It is what it is. It's like, there's enough people there that need our help. We've both got different personalities. And that's the beauty about our job. Is like, everyone's different to some degree, but everyone feels like they need to be like like whoever they look up to in the industry, and you should use them for inspiration by all means. So like, I love watching JP train.
Yeah.
Like, he inspires me training wise, and it's like, okay, but I'm not going to try and be him, because I'm not him for a start. Right? It's like, I don't have his blinking supplement company. I don't have my own gym. I don't have all the things that he has. But it's like, I still love his effort when it comes to training. So again, like, use these people that you look to in the fitness industry as like, okay, I really, really like what they do, but I'm not going to try and be that individual, because you've got no chance. No one's got the ability to be Cal Raystrick. No one has. Like, I've seen him work at 3 a.m. in a Malta airport. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I look at him as inspiration. He's been definitely one of my biggest inspirations. Him, Kuba, a lot of people have been mental, but have definitely inspired me in so many ways. And I took the things that I think I would like to put into my own coaching, and it's like a blend of everybody that I've learned off.
But going back to this point is, and you've done that over years, not weeks or months or
no, and they can still change. Like, there's still definitely. I think as I'm getting further into this industry, like, Austin Stout's a big influence on me at this moment. I love his approach to coaching, because he's one, very, very intelligent, but he explains things so simply. Mm-hmm. But like, when we start, like, I think the big thing that's going to come into the industry soon is stress management. Like, I think stress is what we're all going to fucking talk about. And by the way, just because you're stressed doesn't mean you can't lose weight.
Yeah.
But it could be the reason why you're making poor decisions. So like, you have an almond croissant. I said that because me and Charlotte had one last night, because like, you might be stressed. Do you know what I mean?
Who eats a croissant at night?
Oh, she said she wanted one. I just went to Tesco because I wanted a diet drink. But anyway, it's like, you might just do that and forget you ate it because you're really, really stressed. Yeah. But it's not stress that's making it. It's your actions that are making you lose weight, or not making you lose weight. But I think stress, because of the pressure that we're getting put under so much from an internal, from financial, personal life, because we all think we need to be perfect all the time. Training's a stress. People need to understand training's a stress. When you're training, you're putting stress on the body. Dieting's a stress. When you're not eating enough food, that is a stress. And there's going to be an accumulation of stress, which is going to start holding people from getting the results that they want to, because of all this allostatic load of stress coming through. I think that's going to be the thing over the next 3 or 4 years.
I completely agree. You're seeing a shift at the minute. A lot of people are talking more and more about hormones and stuff, and admittedly, it's something that I don't really understand too much about. But the sort of stuff that I work with coaches is how to help their clients with things like emotional regulation. So yes, they're dealing with all of those stresses, but how can they actually bring the power back to themselves and figure stuff out? So I agree. You touched on something that I thought was really interesting. You said, because this is something I think we both agree on, is that people don't know why they're doing this. You said not everybody wants to drive a Ferrari or something like this.
Yeah, so I'll throw the question at you. So I've been asking this question a lot. So like, there's a reason why we do everything. Like, so I asked the question, what's the point? Yeah. So like, what's the point? Like, I worked from 7 o'clock last night till 8:30 last night. Just worked, and I trained in between and I walked the dog, so I did have a bit of social life, but it's a long working stretch. But what's the point? What's the point of me doing that? So there's obviously a reason why I see value in what I'm doing, but I don't think many people actually sit down and think, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, why am I actually putting through? Because it is stressful times. Like, I fucking was writing a presentation on thyroid at 7 o'clock last night. So like, fuck me, I'm tired. Do you know what I mean? But I love it. But it's finding out what your why, but why you've actually do all these things. Why do you go to the gym and record yourself? Why do you buy X amount of courses? Like, why have you hired a business mentor? Like, what is the goal of what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
And if it's fine, if it's like if it's because I've always wanted to drive Ferrari, we use that. That is fucking cool. Okay, that's your why, that you want to drive. But why do you want to drive a Ferrari? Why with a Ferrari and not a Porsche?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's always a deeper intrinsic reason why people do things. But I said a lot of coaches, I think, as you said before, mate, they've come away from what their core values are, and they're trying to potentially be something that they think looks cool, but it's actually not truly who they are. And then they never feel fulfilled because not actually following what they actually want to truly believe. So like, I'm very simple, right? Okay, give me a dog walk. So give me a dog first. Okay, go on a walk. And if I can spend time with Charles and maybe go for a roast afterwards, that's me. I'm happy and all for pills there. Like, that is all free besides having to pay for the roast. Like, that is all pretty much free things. Like, I'm not a very materialistic guy. Don't get me wrong, I like me tech. So like, I like a good laptop, I like a good phone, but I'm not really that arsed about my car. So like, for me to set a target for me, it's like me getting a new car doesn't really drive me, if I'm being honest. But me potentially going, okay, cool, what can I buy that would give me a bit of happiness? Maybe a new laptop. Like, I do like new tech, as I said. So, okay, cool, can I afford that? Okay, what do I need to do? Well, but my values are, I said, like, R is a big value of mine now. I want to bring them up in the world of having so many experiences that I may not have.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like, these are all deep intrinsic reasons why I work hard, essentially. But I like a lot of coaches sit back and go, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, what's the fucking point?
I do think it's really important to think about it. It's again, and I keep saying about it's a conversation we had inside the Amplifier a while back now, is what is something that coaches don't like talking about is, I know we're kind of going against it now, but people should talk about money, but in a different way. Like, you should know what your number is. As in, for me to be able to do the things that I want to do, not just now, but in the future, what do I need to earn on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, depending on how you want to look at it? What's that number for me? And like you said, why is that number that number? Like, for me, I want to be able, we've obviously just bought a house, we've been working hard and saving, and this was the thing. Now we're in the house. It's like, well, we know that probably in 5 years we would like to start a family.
Yeah.
And we know that that's going to come with stuff. We know that we would like to go on, like you said, decent holidays and be able to do cool things and not worry about paying the food bills and all of that sort of thing. So now we know what our number is. We know what between us we need to earn each year to be able to invest into pensions, because that's something else that coaches aren't thinking about.
I'm gonna fucking Scooby, mate. I got a private pension about 3 years ago, and like, I can die at 62 now and be okay. But past 62, I'm fucked though. Yeah, like I'm piss poor. But no, I do think, like, talking about money is really, really important, because I have this conversation with Charlotte a lot. It's like, well, because one, you need to know how much you earn, right? So you pay fucking tax. Okay, you fucking need to think about this thing because you are self-employed, right? So you need to figure all that shit out, because the money you earn a month.
Accountant. I'll shout out mine. Go and talk to Maria at Accounting on You. She's fucking brilliant.
But the thing is, it's like, what money you earn a month, you don't fucking see.
Yeah,
people can't get that fucking concept in their head. It's like, oh, you've earned 10 grand this month. Yeah, but you might only fucking see 3 of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to put expensive, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, but understanding how much money you want to make, but again, it's you know, for the lifestyle that you want to have. So what lifestyle do you want to have? Like, I want to buy a house at the end of this year, and I'm still trying to figure out where I want to live. So it's like, I want somewhere around probably where I'm living now. So it's like, okay, how much do I need to make? How much do I need to save? When this expense comes out, do I still have enough money to pay me tax bill? Like, you've got to understand money. But I think that's more understanding money for yourself, as opposed to picking arbitrary numbers that you need to earn a month to make someone else happy. So I'm not going to call out business coaches here, not one shot, but when you're saying, okay, my clients earn 15k a month, okay, and then everyone thinks, okay, I need to earn 15k a month, but why? Well, at the end of the day, you're making that business coach happy by earning 15k a month, but stressing yourself out in the process to the fact that you don't actually become happy is fucking stupid. Like, doing things that don't make you happy is really stupid. So why can't you just make 8k a month? Be really, by the way, when I say just 8k, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But why can't you just say, just make 8k a month? You fucking live the life you love, right? You're working with clients, you're keeping your service up, because you're not overstressing yourself trying to get more people through the door.
Outgoings are low.
It's like we all set these numbers and we all think, okay, I want to earn 10k a month, which is 120k a year, which means that you're going to be fucking playing with VAT. So you won't fucking see that money.
Yeah, no,
So then
I agree.
that extra money you're not fucking seeing anyway.
And that's where again a good accountant will come in. Like there's loads like whether it's Maria, whether it's I really like what the stuff that James Gibson posts. He talks about it a lot. Is like knowing what that is and then dialing back of okay, what does that look like for you and your business? But if you're like I would like to earn $6,000 a month after tax, well then now you can start getting methodical about it. Right? Okay, well how many clients do you want to work with? I don't know. I don't really want to work with more than 30. Sound. Well, then you probably need to be paid. They probably need to be paying you 250, 275 quid a month after tax. And actually figuring it out that way, not just more clients. Because I know incredible coaches. I had a guy on the podcast, the episode that will get released before this one. Jeff. Fucking minute.
He's from Belgium, isn't he? Is he?
No. He's St Albans.
Oh, right. It's not who I thought.
He might be from Belgium, but no. He's
okay. Because he looked like someone who was working with Cal racing. So like when before Cal was popular, there was like 7 or 8 of us.
Right.
And he looks the spit of someone who used to work with him.
Right. I mean, he's in fucking great nick. It might be. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he was saying, and to be fair to me, he was very open about it. He was working with 100 clients, 110 clients, and he was like, "But I'm killing myself. Like I'm working on holiday. I'm in Dubai. I'm having to do this. I'm having to do that." And it's like, well, but he knows what he's doing it for. Obviously, he's got his family and stuff like that. So it's glorified of how many clients can you handle. It's like, well, it's not as simple as that. How many clients can you handle and not drop your level of service? And how many clients can you handle without blowing your brains out?
Yeah. Because it's like what you've got to think of is each one of them clients is individual. So each one of them clients deserves the time that you're giving each one of them clients.
Yep.
So if them 100 clients, for example, want to send you a training video to analyze, that's 100 training videos you got to analyze that day. That takes fucking time. But I think people need to understand what the limitations are. But I think also, like Carl, who used to live with, used to say this phrase, and I love it, like marinating. So you hit a number, then you stick on it for a little bit.
Yeah.
You get used to that number. Because for the amount of clients I have now, if you were to give me that at the start of my career, I would have fucking pulled all my hair out. I've been fucking in a corner of the wall crying. Right? Well, now it's like, it's easy. It's easy. It's like, I don't find it stressful at all. So it's like, okay, can I push my numbers a little bit more if you want to? But you've got to hold that number, because when you're exposed to something at first, it's always hard, no matter what that is, whether it be a diet phase, whether it be pushing up, whatever it may be, running a new distance. But when you've done it enough times, it becomes your new normal.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just another day. But when you're pushing things and you're growing exponentially so quickly, it's hard to adapt then.
I always try and pull parallels between the analogies that coaches use with their clients. Like, they're all over. There's so many parallels. You'd say to the client, like I've said to people as they were losing a lot of weight, they had a lot of weight to lose. I was like, you won't want to wake up tonight. You won't want to wake up tomorrow 60 kilos lighter, because you won't be able to maintain it. You'd have no idea that you'd not had the behavior change, you'd not had the habit change and stuff like that. Agreed. So, but then when it comes to coaches going like, no, I want 50 clients tomorrow. I'm like, how can you not see that? How can you not see? Yeah. So I've just realized the time, and I know you're a busy guy, but I do want to talk very quickly about AN. Is it AN Education?
Yeah, it is, yes.
So Ali and Nathan, I'm guessing, isn't it AN?
It is, yes. It is quite funny. Yeah. It's grammatically correct as well.
It is. So, talk to me about this, because it's something that I think is very much needed. I think the stuff that you cover is really, really fascinating. Like I said, I've already, you've been into my coaching group, and I'm going to get Nathan in as well to come in and talk, because I think you've both got a lot of expertise. You've both got a lot to offer. What was the idea behind it?
Okay, so like I've tried to set up some kind of education thing for a while now, and it just never took off. But me and Nathan, we met when I was living in Wigan, and we just hit it off. We're very, very same-minded. Like, we believe in education. We've both been brought up to, like, education is the most important thing. And when you're clever, you can help more people. Essentially, that's the whole point of our job. But the whole point of AN Education is to look at things from every single angle to get the client the result that they're after. I'm doing a post about this today in regards to, like, be open-minded to different approaches, but the foundation is still the foundation. So calorie deficit, surplus, train to failure to get a response. But you can't just have one way in which you do things, because that will help, say, 70% of people. But are you looking at every aspect of a client to see how they can improve their quality of life via sleep, stress management, digestion, health, hormones? Like, hormones are becoming a big thing. But again, what we don't want to be doing, and this is how coaches then can start to have that authoritative role, is go, my client going, I've got a low thyroid. It's like, if you had it tested, I've had my TSH tested. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've got underactive thyroid. Like, you're going to have to get more tests done to be able to be given that. And then if you are, then you'll have to have medication. So it's giving yourself the knowledge and the authority to then potentially tell your clients that they need to potentially toughen up a little bit to get the result, because it is hard. Like, it is hard to change your body. but also giving them just an open-minded approach on every aspect of this. When it comes to nutrition, when it comes to training, when it comes to hormones, like stress management, like these are all parts of coaching that we can actually control to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just giving the client a diet plan, a training plan, go, oh, why is my client not losing weight? It's like, fucking figure it out. It's your fucking job. It's like, I hate when people go, oh, my client's not losing weight and I feel like they've got this issue, but they're not being 100% adherent with the diet. It's like, it's not the fucking issue's fault. It's the fact they're not being adherent. But when you've got the knowledge to go, well, look, I don't think you're being adherent now because of this one. So this is still going to be playing a problem, but this needs to be nailed first before we try and address that to some degree. That's then how you can start being a better coach, in my opinion. Because as you said before, mate, you're right. You get better at asking questions because you know what questions to ask.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
So
I think that's why I'm, again, like, I know that I can get quite passionate on these podcasts, and I know that I can get quite passionate in my content and stuff like that, in my emails. I'm not for 1 second saying that coaches don't need an incredible level of nutrition and training and hormone and all of those things that you said, knowledge around those areas, because they do. But the thing that I like that you're bringing to it, which is the same thing that I'm bringing to it, is, okay, but what about when that doesn't work?
Yeah, exactly.
What about when it's not that anymore and it is adherence, behavior change, identity, motivation?
Mate, look, like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but look, people don't get results because they're not adherent. It is quite simple, that, right? Okay, and I think coaches as well, and put the responsibility back on the coach. I also think coaches are not confident enough to push clients. So, for example, if you've got a woman who is 4'11" and weighs 52 kilos, her food's going to be fucking low.
I had one of my second ever client, Amy, girl called Amy. Yeah. She was 5'1", I believe, maybe 5'2". She started at 60 kilos and she finished at 52 kilos. And like, I had this was the second person that I ever worked with. And I had this thing in my head. I can't push below 1,200 calories.
I want to know where 1,200 calories come from.
I've got this number, but she was sedentary. She worked for the AA at the time, desk bound. She was training and she was trying to get her steps. And I was like, well, she's going to fucking have to. And it's mad.
It's like, but like, it depends on what the client's result is. No, like what the client actually wants to do. So if someone wants to, if you've got a lad, right, and they want to step on stage, you want to have lines in the glutes, right, they're going to have to get fucking buried because you're not supposed to be that lean. So you're going to have to do things that's not healthy. So it depends on the clients and the result that you're trying to get. But we should always be trying to keep clients' health as a priority.
Yeah, I agree.
So you never want, if females are stepping on stage, they are making the decision that they're probably going to mess up with the cycle. That's their responsibility, as long as you explain it well as a coach.
And you as a coach then have the responsibility to figure out if that's something you want to do. If you don't want to do that, that's fine.
Agreed. But most females, when dieting, should not lose the cycle.
I agree, yeah.
Should not. And if they are, you need to delve in deeper why. Because if a female, for example, has still got 20% body fat, they're still eating a substantial amount of food, and let's pick out, it was like 2,000 calories, okay? They shouldn't be losing a cycle. There's more things happening on. And as a coach, we're not doctors. But when we're getting things back from doctors, we should be able to interpret it to some degree to help the client the best way. So we get to work with the doctors as opposed to just be sitting, just listen to your doctor. Like, understand what the doctor's saying, understand what the medical professional's saying, whatever shape or form. So then we can go, okay, cool, this is what we should be doing now. This is where we're going to treat this. So if a female's dieting and say her hormones are out of whack, okay, we need to push your food back up to maintenance now. There's something not right happening internally. It's not going to get any better whilst dieting.
Yeah.
And having the confidence to do that. So that's what Nathan and I are trying to teach, is trying, as I said, just give the coaches the tools to ask the right questions.
Yeah. And it's the knowledge behind it, where they can ask them with confidence.
Yeah. And authority makes, at the end of the day, like, as I said, you're not a rent-a-friend. Like, people are paying you for a result. And when you have to have difficult conversations with people, if you've got the confidence in what you're saying, you know you're saying it with the best interest at client's heart. Because that's what coaches need to realise. It's like, for example, if you're calling a client out because they're not sticking to nutrition, you're not doing it to be a dick. You're doing it because you want them to get the best results. And sometimes people do need that tough love, and how you address that is based off how the client's going to respond.
And you're also doing it because that's what they're paying you for.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why they signed up with you in the first place. It's because they're not great at holding themselves accountable. Anyway, right, we could definitely go on and on and on. This has been mint. So last question that I ask everybody, where can people find you? What's your Instagram? What's the education page Instagram?
So I go with the education page because I know that's top of the education page is A in education. Mine is coach.
Grammatically correct.
Yeah. Coach _Ali _Fraser. I think that's what my Instagram is. Yeah, I've got a YouTube, which is called Physique Wizard, because someone called me and I like it. And then we're getting an education YouTube as well. We're just trying to give out as much information as possible. And we have got a seminar coming up on the 19th of April.
This hopefully will be out by then. I've got 6 more. I do the thing where I just record 8 episodes and then drop them all at the same time. Yeah, because I've not got the brain to keep up on a weekly basis.
No, mate, I completely understand that.
So send me all the links to those and I'll put them below. I'll put them below so people can go straight to them as well. Mate, this has been mint. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Anytime, mate.